Mark Jones. We have Mark Jones Trucking and Boulder Creek Timber Company.
Mark Jones and his wife Katie have been part of Oregon's timber industry since 1982. Today they help fight the fires that are burning due to the lack of forest management on federal lands.
Primarily we log by BLM timber sales, which includes a lot of road building and logging on them, and then we market the timber also.
When fires start, they take their road building expertise, equipment, and crews to the fires, clearing roads so that crews can get into the forest more safely.
During fire seasons, we'll take a lot of equipment out on the fires, which we've done since I think 1986 or 87.
On the Lookout fire, that's the one we have the most on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Mark brings equipment, his people, and expertise to the fire line.
Had 32 lumber trucks for quite a few years, hauling mostly for Roseburg Forest Products. We just kind of changed with times.
Changing with the times is what Oregon loggers have had to get used to. One day, they're on a fire in the McKenzie River Valley, the next, near Cottage Grove.
This is our lowboys. It blew across the river and across the road and started behind us. And so they were like, we got to get these lowboys out of here. Called the team down to put this little fire out. While they were putting that one out, another one right down the road took off and was burning.
On this fire, we're grading roads. The roads don't get maintained on a regular basis on the Forest Service anymore. So during the fire, with all the fire crews going up and down the hill, the roads get chewed up pretty fast. Besides, they may not have been graded for several years prior to this. So once the roads get chewed up, they'll bring a grader in a lot of times and get the road more passable.
Mark and others who spend time in the woods say, when it comes to fires, lack of good forest management is a big part of the problem.
To me, I just think they really should at least try to do the dead and down, just salvage sales, if nothing else, and that would just put a little more money into everything, maintenance and our schools and stuff. So plus it would eliminate a lot of the fire dangers that we're dealing with on a regular basis. Well, there's no doubt the last 10 years fires have gotten way more aggressive.
He says, sure, it is drier right now, but dry spells are part of a natural cycle, a 10 to 20 year cycle. He says the increase in fires is what happens when you don't manage the forest properly.
You know, they just don't put out any salvage sales and stuff like that they used to, BLM and Forest Service. So a lot of this dead and down timber would have been salvaged and it wouldn't be laying there to burn up.
Jones says it never used to be like this.
It's way different. You never used to see down timber laying everywhere. You can drive up through the mountains, I don't care if it's Forest Service or BLM, and everywhere you look, there's either windfalls or snags, that kind of stuff everywhere. It's just not being taken care of anymore, and that leaves all that fuel there for the fires to be able to not only get started with, but also progress once it does start. A good example is when Archie Creek fires started, they had like a 12 million foot BLM timber sale that I was planning on bidding on, and it all got burned up. I tried for months to get them to go ahead and sell it to me and negotiate it, and they just couldn't because they had to start their studies all over again. Even though it had all been done, they had to redo it because everything had changed.
Mark says it's a shame to see timber wasted, jobs lost, revenue gone, and fire danger increasing, and all for what?
It's already down, blown down or dead. The salvage alone to me is a huge thing that should be addressed. It would help all kinds of things. Like I say, the schools and stuff. Also, it would help lessen the chance of fire stuff. I think once the fires get started now, they seem to cover a lot more acres a lot quicker, and I'm sure it has to do with all the down timber and stuff.
Jones says other policies are causing problems, making fires even more difficult to control.
Used to be the logging roads were opened up and easy accessible. Now you have to go in and cut all the brush back and do a lot of work just to get into areas and stuff. which, back in the 80s, most of the logging roads were taken very well care of.
Until the public understands the magnitude of the problem and the federal government changes its policies, those in the timber industry don't expect to see a whole lot of change. And that means more carbon in the air we breathe and the loss of a valuable resource, jobs, and wood products to build affordable housing.